Alright guys, we gotta talk a little bit about laning. Because your laning, all of you, your laning's dog shit, alright? Not gonna sugarcoat it. You guys suck at laning, okay? So we're gonna talk about laning. Now, a lot of the stuff I'm gonna talk about, it's gonna sound very obvious. It's gonna sound very like, you know, oh, this is super simple. You know, why are you telling me this? It's because you don't do it, alright? I know it sounds simple. I know it's like, it might not even seem that big of a deal. It's a big deal, alright? So I'm gonna tell you about it. You guys, I just want you guys to like think about this stuff and like try to make it second nature eventually at some point. You know, it's not gonna come immediately. You gotta work on it. That's fine. But just like think about this stuff, right? This is stuff you should be thinking about. So let's start. Before we even start, actually, let me talk about one thing. All right, ranged creeps. See this guy? See this little fucker right here? This guy is the most important part of the first like 3 or 4 waves of creeps. Okay, unless someone's like dying, about to die, getting killed, then that's the most important thing. If that's not happening, then getting the range creep is the most important thing. Not even getting the range creep, making sure that the range creep that's on the enemy team does not get denied. Why is that? That's because range creeps give you way more gold, way more experience than regular creeps, right? If you deny your range creep, if I deny this, and then I stop this one from getting denied, I either last hit it or I like, you know, stop them from denying it, fuck up their like deny, right? Then I get more experience. I hit level 2. Me and my lane partner, we hit level 2 before they hit level 2. If we're level 2 before they're level 2, you know, we have a second ability. We have 2 abilities we can use. That means if we fight, we're gonna win because we have 2 abilities. They have 1 ability each. You know, basic math. If I can cast 2 spells for every 1 spell they cast, I'm gonna win that fight. Okay. It's a power spike. We're gonna get into power spikes a bit later, but just keep that in mind. That's the reason why the range creep is super important. So the like first 2-3 waves, if you're not like going for kills, you need to be worried about range creep. That is your biggest fucking priority. Okay? So let me just demonstrate this for you. Okay? Right here. I just want you to pay attention to when we're gonna hit level 2. Okay, we got this one. We don't let them deny it. Look at that. We're level 2, okay? Even if they clear this whole wave, they're not even close to level 2. That's the important point, right? Even if this died, they're not level 2. We're level 2. We win any fight right now. Okay? So that's the important point about range creeps. Now, next thing we got to talk about is creep aggro. Alright, you see, I put a little circle around my clinks here. You see this? This is 500 range. Okay, 500 range, the most important number, the most important range in the game, that's creep aggro range. And it's also tower aggro range. We'll get to that in a second. Give guys some health, get back here. Alright, look at this. Their creeps each have like a little circle, 500 range around them. If I click on a hero inside that circle, look at this guy, he's inside the circle, he's going to go and hit me. See that? These guys are not inside the circle. They do not go and hit me. Okay, that's how creep aggro range works. You want to harass someone, you should hit them from outside the circle so as not to pull the creeps. Okay, I want to harass this guy. I can't hit him here. I'll pull the creeps. I hit him from here. Okay, I don't pull the creeps. Go a bit closer. Hit him. Oh, guess what? All these guys are gonna hit me. Okay, I'm lagging a little bit. You can see my ping up here. That's why things are a bit slow. Okay, if I do it from here, right? This one creep's gonna come. This guy's not. There you go. Okay, that's how creep aggro works. Now, you can abuse this for other reasons than like harassing, right? Let's say, for example, let me get rid of this guy so we can just have a nice 1v1 going on. Let's say this axe is super fed, okay? He has a lot of gold, a lot of items, whatever. I can't get anywhere near him, okay? But I still want last hits. Okay, so we're gonna just bring these creeps a little bit back here. Alright, he's between me and my last hits that I want. I want these last hits, I can't get them. What do? I go here, I click on him, I back up. Oh, look at this. This creep is not coming here. Now I can last hit him. Okay, I don't have to go here where he's going to fuck me up. He's staying here because he wants his last hits as well. That's how I get last hits in, like, difficult lanes. Okay? Here he is again. I want this last hit. I don't want to get too close. I do this. I pull it back. It didn't work that time. Reset, whatever. There you go. I get the last hit, okay? I don't have to like run up to it and stay here. I can go back where it's safe. There is a reset, a cooldown, where they won't aggro you if you've already clicked on someone recently. That's a bit more advanced. You don't need to worry about it. Just know that it exists. I will demonstrate it right here in a second. This is my creeps reach. Okay, look at this. If I click him from outside of range, like, okay, there's no creeps in my range right now. I click him, I go closer, I click him again. They don't attack me. It's because there's a 2-second cooldown from when you like trigger that thing before it can happen again. Right? So again, if I outside range, I click him, I go inside range, I click him. These guys do not aggro me because of there's a cooldown. Now the cooldown is up, they'll aggro me. Yep. Okay. Again, don't stress about it. It's a much more like advanced thing. Just know that it exists. It explains why sometimes you'll try this and it won't work properly. That's probably why. So the exact same principle applies to towers, right? 500 range right here, it works on towers. Even though their attack range is much bigger than 500. So that means I can be in their attack range and I can be hitting this guy and it won't attack me. So let's assume this centaur is a creep wave, okay? Because a real creep wave dies too fast. So it's tanking the tower. Now there's a melee creep. This guy's here. He's trying to get his last hits. I want to hit him. This is the tower's attack range. This is 500 range, okay? I can be inside the range. I can click on him. This tower is not going to hit me, okay? Tower doesn't care because I'm not in 500 range. If I get in 500 range and I click him, now the tower is going to care. Watch. Switches to me, right? And there you go. And the cooldown applies, right? So for example, I click him, I go into range, I click him again, tower doesn't care because it's on cooldown, alright? There you go. Exactly the same for creeps, exactly the same for towers. Now there is one little thing that's different. I'm just going to show it to you real quick, just so you know. Okay, so when this creep dies, it's going to pick a new target. That target's going to be me sometimes, okay? The reason why, it's a bit like mysterious, you know, it's Dota sometimes. Just know, like, when you're hitting under tower, watch for when your creep dies, back up a little. That's all you gotta know, okay? You don't need to worry about, like, the extreme, minute details or whatever. So the other thing to keep in mind is that the creeps only care about right clicks when it comes to this stuff. So they don't. If I right click him, they're gonna hit me. Okay. If I cast a spell like this, even if it's targeted, they don't care. I can do this as much as I want. Guys won't hit me. Creep wave is getting too massive. We're just gonna clear it up. So yeah, once again, I cast a spell. He doesn't care, or they don't care. If I right click, they all care. Okay. So Van gets out of here. The same thing applies to attack modifiers, to searing arrows, or like silencer, or viper, or whatever. Yeah, if I click him, they all come hit me. If I cast my W manually like this, they don't care. I can do this as much as I want. If I auto attack it, or auto cast it rather, and I click him, they come to me. Even though it's searing arrows, even though the attack is like modified, they still aggro me. Because they consider this an auto attack, but they consider a manual cast like this to be an auto attack. Okay, don't ask me why it works that way, but it works that way. Okay, so the next thing we gotta talk about is managing the creep wave. Alright, now normally, if you have just 2 fresh creep waves, they're gonna meet up right here, right outside tower range. If I unpause, you'll see this is tower range. They meet up like right here, right on the edge of it. Okay, and as a support, this is exactly where you want them to be. It's like, if they're not here, it's your job to get them here. And it's the carry's job, once they are here, to keep them here. Okay? And he also kind of has to help you get them back here. So let me explain what I mean. Alright? If I'm the carry in this lane, I'm the Clinks. Right? I am doing what I can to keep this lane here. I'm like, every time I deny one, I right click here to make up for it. Right? So I'm making sure that our creeps are relatively even. They're dying at the same rate, right? Now we're up a creep, so I'm denying. Now this guy has a bit less health, so maybe I hit this guy once. I can turn on searing arrows. I kill this guy. I kill this guy. These guys are going to trade equally. You know, deny this guy a little bit. Maybe hit that guy. You know, I don't let this guy survive, because if he survives, he's going to push the lane here. Tower's going to kill. It's going to push faster. So I kill this guy. You know, and I just make sure that the lanes are equal. Kill that guy. You know, this wave now has a bit more health, so I'm like hitting them a bit more. Okay, and now it's equal, right? So I get the deny, I get the last hit. We're exactly equal. Now this creep is hitting me. It's gonna push a little. I need to hit this guy like one hit early. There you go. Kill that guy. And there you go. That's the basic idea. I can keep this wave here if I elastic or if I like manage their health correctly. Now let's say something happens, you know, the enemies are here, I can't do this perfectly, I'm distracted fighting them, whatever. Lane pushes. See, we got 2 guys to survive that last wave. They're gonna damage these guys a little bit. And then these guys are coming in with these guys having less health. The lane's gonna push forward. Now if I'm playing support, I see this, right? I should be paying attention to this. I should look for this. I know the lane's going to push. This is when I start thinking, okay, I need to get it back. This is when you stack. This is when you pull. I'm not going to go into how you stack and pull. I assume you guys know this. But this is when you pull. This is the time when you're like, okay, I need to pull now. Alright. You can see, we got 3 survivors this time. They're going to do even more damage. Lane's going to push. As the support, I need to pull. And as the carry, I need to help my support pull. My support, the Venge, is over here pulling, right? And we see like the offlane support coming over this way. Pretty good bet that he wants to stop me from pulling. As the carry, I can like come up here and like maybe harass him a bit and try and send him back. Maybe. Depends what the lane's looking like, you know, all other kinds of stuff. It's more important if he's pulling the large camp, right? Because it's a lot easier for the offlane to come here and contest this pull. So if I'm like, if I want to pull this camp, I like cut down this tree, I hit the creep here, I pull it this way. Like, pulling the creep wave like this. I see this guy coming up to try and stop it. You know, the support can't stop him, because the support needs to do the pull. So the carry, instead of being, you know, over here last hitting, whatever, might want to come in here and prevent this guy from doing anything about it. Okay? Just something to think about. Sometimes you get the last hits, sometimes you can be helping with the pull. Okay, you kind of have to, like, play a bunch and see when it's appropriate to do which one. Alright, so I think that pretty much covers creeps. Next, we're going to talk about power spikes. So what do I mean about power spikes? I mentioned this a little bit earlier. It's when you get like into a situation where your hero suddenly gets a lot stronger. Okay? And in the early game, in the laning phase, we generally have 4 situations which are power spikes. We have level 2, we have level 3, we have boots, and we got 6. Okay? 6 should be pretty obvious. You get your ultimate, you're much stronger, right? You're a Juggernaut, you have Omni Slash. You're Anti-Mage, you have Mana Void. Faceless Void, you have Chrono, etc., etc., etc. If you get level 6, you're super strong. If you get level 6 before the enemies get level 6, you have a big advantage. Okay? I don't need to talk about that. That's pretty obvious, so we're not going to talk about level 6. These 3, maybe are not as obvious. Okay, level 2, I mentioned this a bit earlier. At level 2, you have 2 spells instead of 1. If you get level 2, before the enemy gets level 2, you're in charge of the lane, right? They can't fight you. If I'm a Centaur, right, I have these 2 skills. I can, like... This guy's level 1, all he has is Searing Arrows. I can go up to him. I can stun him. I can do this to him. All he can do is do this. Right? Same with the Venge. All she can do is stun me. So 90 damage at level 1. I have 100 damage here. I have 120 damage plus a bit of strength. Call it 150 damage here. Okay, I'm doing like double the damage she does from nukes. Just from the fact that I'm level 2 before she's level 2. So yeah, level 3, same thing, except instead of having 2 skills, you now have 2 points in your main skill. So let's say you're a Juggernaut. Your spin is now like doing... Let's actually check. Alright, spin going from 85 damage per second to 110 damage per second. It's a lot. It's a big difference. You're doing 550 damage. Okay? If you're Venge, right? Venge, right here. Stun goes from 90 to 180. It's double the damage, a bit more range as well, a bit longer stun. If I'm doing double damage with this skill, compared to like my enemy who's a level below me, you know, how are they going to win that fight? If I'm doing 180 damage, they're doing 90 damage, they can't win. So like when you're in a position like that, right? We got the range creep denies, we're a level up. We don't like sit in the back here and like farm like this. We posture aggressively. We come up here, right? This guy's here. And we do this, and we like hit him as the support or as the carry. Obviously, we don't want to draw range or creep aggro, but like we fuck with him when we can. He can't man up on us. He cannot fight us because we have, 2 points in this. He has 1 point. Whatever he's going for, it doesn't work. He can't win that fight. Generally, obviously there are some lanes where, you're a Spectre, you're really weak. The enemy is a Slardar. He's really strong, and it doesn't really apply. But we're talking like on average. So on average, when you see something like that. But even then, even in that kind of lane, right? If you're level 3 Spectre versus level 2 Slardar, a lot lower chance of him killing you, right? You can farm much more safely, so it's still good. If you're a Slardar, you get level 3 before the Spectre gets level 2, you're much more likely to kill him, okay? Boots, same thing. If you're a hero who needs to like catch people, that's your trouble, you can't really get up to them, and you get boots way before the enemy gets boots, you can just run them down, right? And they can't do anything. If you're Ursa and you have boots, the enemy doesn't have boots, you can just click on them all day. Monkey King, right? You get your 4 stacks, you're running like not double, but you're running much faster than they're running. You can get your stacks all the time, right? Juggernaut, you got your spin. If you have boots and they don't have boots, you can like spin right next to them. They can't do shit about it. Your kill potential is like off the charts compared to a hero who can either outrun you or is like at the same speed as you. He can sort of like, say I'm spinning next to him, he can like try and juke me by like turning around suddenly and I like run off in this direction. If I have boots, that doesn't work because I just catch up to him anyway. So boots is like on certain heroes, boots are a big power spike. Lifestealer's another one. Razor is another one because you link them, you steal their damage. Like on most carry heroes who are gonna right click a lot, boots matter a lot, right? Jug's the obvious one with spin. Even anti-mage, you can run up to them, you can steal their mana, they can't run away. Even Ursa, I said troll with the net. You net people. When you right click them, you have a lot more chances to right click them. Boots is a big deal for some heroes. Slardar, you can stick to them, bash them more. Spirit Breaker, obviously, he scales with move speed. Lots of heroes. So that's another power spike on the right hero. Boots is a big power spike. And again, once you get your boots, and, if you get your boots before your opponent gets your boots, because you've been getting all your last hits, you've been, doing the range creeps properly, your support's hopefully been pulling, denying them gold, you get your boots before they do, you have a big advantage, you have to use that advantage. It's not just enough to say, oh, look, I got my boots first, now I have a big advantage, hooray. No, you gotta use that advantage, you gotta, use the fact that you are now stronger than them to, be aggressive on them, to, come up here, fight next to them, tell them, you can't fight me, you have to back up, you have to, seed these, you have to leave these creeps for me, because if you try and get them, I'm gonna kill you, because I'm stronger than you, because I hit my power spike, and you didn't hit your power spike. So that's power spikes. Next. Alright. We're gonna get out of this lobby. Alright, so let's talk about items. Okay, early itemization. We're not talking about starting items. We're gonna assume you have your starting items. The decision we're making now is what are the early items we're gonna buy for our lane. Okay? And I feel like you guys really turn off your brains when it comes to this stuff, because I see a lot of really dumb decisions where it's you don't really think about what item you're buying, you just buy something just because it's oh, this is the item you buy on this hero, so I bought that item. Okay? No, it's wrong. Okay? You have to think. It's not a very hard thought process. Okay? But you guys just don't do it. Okay? This shit's not complicated. It's very straightforward. So the first thing you gotta do is you gotta you've been in your lane for a bit. You're level 2, level 3. You have some idea how your lane is going and what's gonna happen in the near future. So you gotta ask yourself, what is this lane I'm in? And generally there's 3 kinds of lanes. There's kill lanes, there's harass lanes, there's trading lanes. Okay? Pretty simple. Kill lane is either you are killing them or they are killing you from full health. Okay? So if they catch you or if you catch them, you're gonna kill them, right? This is something if you have a Juggernaut and a CM as your safe lane, and it's if the CM slows him and roots him and its Jug spins on them, they die, right? Kill lane. Same thing with an Ursa and a Veno. If the Veno gets his slow, and the Ursa starts right-clicking them, he runs them down, they die. Kill lane, alright? Then you have a harass lane. Harass lane is we're not gonna kill you in one combo, we're just gonna do a lot of like damage over time. You can't really farm because we're doing damage to you slowly but surely. So like Underlord, if you're laning against an Underlord, he is like harassing you with this. He's not gonna kill you because you're not an idiot. You're not gonna stand in this and take all the damage, but the damage is gonna add up, right? And eventually you're gonna get low. You're gonna run out of tangas. You're gonna run out of salves. Then he's gonna kill you. Okay. And like the other heroes who do this are like Tidehunter with his E. There's like Phoenix with his like fireball things. They're gonna like do damage over time. Stuff like that. And then you've got trading lanes, which is like, you're not really gonna kill them, they're not really gonna kill you. You're just fighting for last hits. Most lanes start out as trading lanes, like level 1, because no one's really that strong at level 1, so you both kind of trade. And then like they usually like either turn into one of the other lanes at like level 2, level 3, or they just stay as trading lanes, right? Clockwork, for example. Clockwork is like a hero you just trade with. You just trade farm with him. You're last hitting, he's last hitting. You can't send him out of lane. He can't really kill you unless you fuck up pretty badly. Another example would be something like Timbersaw, right? Timbersaw gets unkillable eventually, but early on, you're trading with him. He can't kill you. You can't kill him. You're not really taking too much damage from him. You're just trading farm. Around level 6, he gets to a point where it becomes a kill lane, but before that, it's a trading lane. Bounty Hunter, same thing. You're trading with a Bounty Hunter. You get the idea, okay? So you gotta identify which of these lanes am I in. Night Stalker's another one, by the way. Trading lane. Trade with Night Stalker. And which items do I need to deal with this, okay? Generally, if you're in a lane where, like, they're threatening to kill you from full health with, like, you're against the Ursa Veno, they're gonna kill you, you need to say which items are gonna let me survive this. A Ring of Health, if we go here, if you're a Bristleback and you get a Ring of Health against Ursa Veno, this does fucking nothing for you. You understand? 6.5 HP regen does not help you when they are killing you from full health to 0 health. It doesn't. This is like 20 health. They kill you in 4 seconds, 25 health. Alright? It doesn't do shit for you. This item, if you're in that kind of lane, is garbage. You took 800 gold and you flushed it down the toilet. Alright? You know what's better than this in that kind of lane? Boots is better than this. Boots is better than this because if you get slowed, the Ursa's hitting you, maybe you can outrun them because you get boots first and they don't have their boots yet, okay? Better than this is Bracer. Bracer, right here, you have more health. You got 5 strength, right? You got more health from this. Hopefully you can survive until the slow runs out and then you can run away, okay? Branches, right? These give you strength. They give you health. It's better than a Ring of Health. Ring of Protection, better. All these items help you survive when you're getting burst down from full health, okay? Ring of Regen doesn't do that. Ring of Regen in that situation is griefing. You're griefing yourself. Don't do it, okay? Think about what items you want to buy before you buy them. On the other hand, if you're in a harass lane, if you're against an Underlord, let's say you're playing Anti-Mage, right? You're against Underlord. You're not going to kill that Underlord anytime soon. He's got way too much health. You're an Anti-Mage. You don't do that much damage early on. Or you can, once he's out of mana, you're not hitting him that hard. If you're an Anti-Mage and you start stacking Wraith Bands, against an Underlord, you're going to have a bad time. Why? Because he's harassing you. Wraith Band helps you get, last hits better. It helps you harass him a little. It doesn't give you sustain. You want to get the early Ring of Health so that you can, survive, or not survive, but that you, keep your health high through all his damage so you're not, he doesn't have an opportunity to kill you when you get low. Okay? If you think about this, it sounds very straightforward. This is not complicated. This is not whoa, what a crazy idea. It's all very simple. But, you guys don't do this. Alright, Lifestealer. Classic example. I see a lot of times where you guys are playing Lifestealer in a difficult lane, and the first item you go for is Orb of Corrosion. Okay, where's Corrosion? There it is. You go for this thing first. Alright, why? Why the fuck would you go for this item when you're in a difficult lane? Okay, it's a slow, it's armor reduction, it's a bit of health. Okay, the health helps. But this thing is 900 gold. If you're in a lane where it's we're not killing them anyway, they're beating us, we're a little bit behind, we don't have a lot of kill potential, and you buy this item, you're throwing 900 gold away. Okay? What's another item you can buy? Now, I was talking about Ring of Health earlier. You can't go Ring of Health on, can't go Ring of Health on Lifestealer. It doesn't build into anything. You need another item that gives you sustain. What item gives you sustain that Lifestealer wants to buy? Well, you might think, oh, Phase Boots, right? Because it gives me, the armor. I mean, that's fine if you're not taking too much harass. That's okay. But even better than that is this thing. This thing, Helm of Iron Will, right? 5 armor, 5 HP regen. It's 900 gold. This thing is 800 gold for 6.5 HP regen. So you get a bit more regen, but you're missing 5 armor. Okay? This item's really, really good early game on a hero like Lifestealer, you know, Wraith King, anyone who builds armlet, basically. This item's really good to sustain early on. So if you're playing Lifestealer, you don't want a Ring of Health, you want this thing, because this thing is your sustain item. Okay? The same the same concept applies to like fucking any hero in this game, right? You itemize around the situation you find yourself in. If you're in a trading lane, right? If you're in a lane where you're like trading last hits and no one's really killing each other and you don't really need to, you're not getting harassed that much, you're just both farming creeps, then that's when you want to build like Wraith Bands. Why? Because Wraith Bands give you more damage. Yeah, it doesn't have to be, it depends on the hero, right? Wraith Bands, Bracer, Null Talisman. Because these give you damage. These let you, like, when you're contesting last hits, these give you an advantage because you're doing more damage. You're more likely to get the last hits, right? You can also go, like, Blades of Attack early on because you can get your phase boots, for example. Or, let's say you're building Armlet. Let's say you're playing Lifestealer inside a trading lane, right? Instead of getting this first, you get this first because the +9 damage is better for getting last hits, and you don't need the sustain so much. You're not under that much pressure. Okay? These are the kinds of things you got to be thinking about when you think about what item you're going to buy. Stick is a special case, right? Magic Stick is, you go through like a whole different thought process of why do you want to build this item. And, you know, some heroes it's mandatory against some heroes. If you're against Bristle, if you're against Zeus, who's the other one? Undying, Batrider, that's it. Zeus, Bristle, Batrider, absolutely mandatory. You need a stick. And eventually later on a wand. Undying, Timbersaw, all these heroes, you know, who spam spells, like Skywrath. I would say, like, Lion's another one because he has Mana Drain, he's casting his stun a lot. You almost always want to be getting a stick against those heroes. Shadow Demon as well, he's spamming poison. So, like, stick is kind of its own thing. When you get it, I would say, like, 85% of your games, you want a stick. Sometimes you're going to be against, like, you know, like a Spectre and, like, like a support who's not casting a lot of spells, and, you know, Warlock, he's throwing out a heal once in a while, then maybe you can be like, maybe I'll skip it. Or Enchantress, right? She's just like casting auto attacks, they don't count. Then you can be like, okay, maybe I'll skip stick. Most of the time you want a stick. Okay? Stick's a great item. It does everything. The only time you skip it is when you're just against the lane who's just not casting spells. Maybe you're like, or also, it could be that, like, you're planning to, like, jungle and farm for a while. So, like, you're anti-mage, you're like, I'm going to get my Battle Fury, and then I'm going to go hit creeps for 30 minutes. I'm not going to go to any fights. Then I don't need a stick. Because stick is only really useful in fights. So, that's another time you can skip stick. And wand, the general rule with wand is if you're a carry, you can get wand early. If you're a support, you only buy wand when you need, like, you start with branches, and then you're like, I need more inventory space. Then I'll get a wand. You don't want to spend the gold on a wand early because your gold is very limited. You want the gold to do other things. You want it to be boots. You want it to be maybe even mana boots. You want to buy maybe the move speed thing, your Pashmina. Where is it? Yeah, you want to get this thing instead. You know, your gold is better spent in other places. Maybe you just want more mangoes. Maybe you want a salve for your carry. Don't buy a magic wand early. Okay? Buy a stick. Stick is great. Stick with this for a while. Nice. And then go to the wand later. What else? Oh, okay, yeah. We're in a kill lane, right? Let's say we're in a kill lane. We are the Juggernaut or the Ursa or, you know, whatever, with our support. We can very easily kill the opposing offlaner, right? What items do we need to buy if we're in that situation? We don't want to buy the early Ring of Health or the early, Helm of Iron Will over here. These kinds of items if we are the kill lane. We don't need to sustain. We don't need armor. We don't need HP regen. We're not being harassed. We are the ones doing the harassing. We're the ones threatening to kill. Right? Yeah, so if we are the kill lane, right? We want, like, Orb of Venom. We want something that slows them. We want boots. We want to get boots first item. We're boots. Boots, right? We're Juggernaut, maybe. Juggernaut CM. We don't want to get the Ring of Health first if we're building Battle Fury, let's say. because like we're not like having trouble sustaining. We have tangos, we have salves that'll keep us going for now. We get boots first. That way we're much better at killing. Okay, and then we can get phase boots even. Phase boots helps you last hit, helps you like threaten kills because you're doing more damage, and you move faster. It's just a great item early on. If you're not being harassed too much, if they're not threatening to kill you, but you're threatening to kill them, rush the phase boots, for sure, all day. Even if you're going Battle Fury, you can get the Ring of Health next. If the lane's going really well, and like they can't even stand in the lane, skip the Ring of Health, get the Claymore. You know, why not? But that's only if the lane's going really, really well. Usually you want that Ring of Health to be safe. Okay. Morbid Mask, if you're going to Mask of Madness, this is like the decision here again. If you're like getting harassed a lot, you're having trouble sustaining in your lane, get the Morbid Mask first. If you're threatening, or if you're not in danger, you're threatening to kill them, or you're trading really well, Quarterstaff, damage, attack speed. Much better than health, or lifesteal rather, if you're not being like directly threatened. Okay. So another item, Raindrops, right? You're against the Zeus, you're against the Skywrath, you're against anyone who's spamming out a lot of magic damage. Get Raindrops. They're good. The next point is you gotta define, like, what is your goal? What is your overall, like, big picture kind of goal for the lane? Now, your first goal should be, I need to be able to sustain in my lane. I need items that let me sit in my lane and farm my lane creeps. Okay, if you're already a kill lane, you don't need that, because you're killing them, you're threatening them, they don't threaten you. But if you're someone else, or if not someone else, if you're in a different kind of lane, your first question that you need to answer is what item is going to let me survive my lane and farm my creeps in my lane. Okay? Now, sometimes there's no item that does that. Sometimes you're just like, okay, this lane is fucked, I can't be here, or I know that like in a level or two, maybe they're going to get their ultimates, and I just can't be in this lane. Slardar is like a classic case, right? He gets his ult, he gets this shit, he takes away all my armor, I can't stand next to him anymore, because if he casts this on me, I just take way too much damage, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm level 4, Slardar's level 4, he's getting to level 6. The question I ask myself is, what item do I need to be able to like leave this lane and jungle effectively? It's going to depend on your hero. On some heroes you need this, Lifesteal Mask. On some other heroes, it's a different item. But like you just have to be thinking this kind of thought process. What is the item that's going to let me jungle, and like I'm going to be able to jungle quickly and efficiently and all that jazz once I leave this lane at level 6, right? So like if you're if you're a Spectre, it might be a Vanguard, right? You get like these two things. So you build you build a Ring of Health. You're like, okay, as soon as Slardar hits level 6, I'm out of here. I leave this lane, go to the jungle, hit creeps. My Vanguard is keeping me high on health. I can jungle creeps without a big deal, without any trouble. If you're an anti-mage, it might just be the Ring of Health into the Battle Fury. Whatever it is, it's the thought process that matters, right? Even if you don't get it right, as long as you recognize why you're wrong, and you're like, oh, we got fucked in this lane, it's because I built this item instead of that item. It's because, I was playing Lifestealer, and I built Phase Boots first instead of going into this thing, and then the Underlord, which did so much damage, I couldn't sit there and hit creeps, I got pushed out of the lane, we lost, right? You just have to recognize this. Again, it's like pretty simple, it's a lot to think about, but the thought process is simple, because there's like a lot of items, but like the thought process is simple. So, just make sure you're thinking about this stuff. Eventually it'll be like, maybe not second nature, but like the thought process will be so in your mind that like you won't have to think too hard about it. You'll be in a lane, you'll be like, oh, this shit is happening, I need this item. That's the goal anyway.